Coming up on NewsVision, President Donald Trump is in a lot of hot water after controversy surrounding the Epstein files.
Along with the record-breaking government shutdown and the No Kings protest that's been sweeping the nation.
Next, we talk to the educators dealing with inequality in D.C. schools, while also giving an update on DMV sports.
And then start the holiday season on the right note with our musical guest. NewsVision starts now.
From the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C., this is NewsVision, a newscast written, reported, and produced by Capstone journalists in the Department of Media, Journalism, and Film.
Good afternoon and welcome to Howard University's NewsVision. I'm Jada White.
And I'm Noah Jackson.
NewsVision is the capstone course for broadcast journalism here at Howard University.
The fall 2025 Supreme 7 cohort has worked diligently to provide the latest news that matters to you.
We've covered stories from around the country to here in the DMV, all with one goal in mind, that is to keep you informed. Well, we begin tonight with an issue that affected almost every segment of society, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. The 43-day hiatus, which began October 1st, left nearly 1 million federal workers without pay, cut off SNAP benefits for low-income families, and caused a ripple effect for airports due to furloughed air traffic controllers. 8 Senate Democrats broke ranks and voted with Republicans in a last-minute deal. They faced almost instant backlash from members of their party, as the decision leaves Americans with new questions about the future of the Affordable Care Act, which provides health insurance for tens of millions of Americans. Republicans and Democrats blame each other for the shutdown and the state of the economy.
Voters are going to remember which political party played games with their lives. They're going to remember that they did this for their own selfish purposes.
We have a cost of living crisis in the United States of America, and Donald Trump and Republicans haven't done a damn thing about it.
The current deal keeps the government funded until January 30th.
Now that Congress is in session, both parties in the House and Senate came together in the long-awaited vote on the files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. They overwhelmingly passed the measure in a near unanimous decision, and new documents released are already shaking things up. More than 20,000 emails tied to Epstein will be made public. One message, reportedly written by Epstein, refers to the president as, quote, the dog that has not barked, alleging that Trump spent hours at Epstein's home. The Justice Department now has 30 days to release the remainder of the files, but there is still no guarantee every document will be made public.
While questions continue to loom around the Epstein files and the fallout of the shutdown, many Americans are growing frustrated with the current administration.
And as that frustration grows, thousands here in D.C. and millions more nationwide rallied under one message: no kings. NewsVision reporter Jeffrey Jones takes us inside one of the nation's fastest growing movements to learn what organizers demand next.
Trump! No more Trump!
From the National Mall down to the archives, tens of thousands gathered on Saturday, October 18th for the No Kings protest, a nationwide demonstration challenging Donald Trump and the 47th United States administration.
I think we are descending pretty quickly into authoritarianism, and the window to stop it is rapidly closing.
Police lined the route from the mall to Pennsylvania Avenue as the large crowd marched through the city. Officers kept a steady watch, but the crowd stayed peaceful and focused as their message was driven more by hope than anger.
This is definitely not an I hate America protest. I can look around here and see so many people that love America, and a very beautiful diversity that makes the U.S. Such a special place to live, and we want to make sure we keep it that way.
Others came to the rally with their intent set on showing their support for the president.
It's called No Kings, but look around. A king would never allow a protest like this, so obviously we don't have a king.
Some demonstrators also used the moment to show solidarity with Palestinians, connecting their calls for democracy at home to the struggles of freedom abroad.
Well, for one thing, we need to stop showing such one-sided support for Israel. We need to actually start behaving in line with international law, and that's going to include a complete arms embargo on Israel.
As the crowd begins to clear and the chants start to fade, one message is clear here in D.C. This protest is not about one man, it's about protecting democracy and the people of America. Jeffrey Jones with Howard University News Service.
We shall live in peace someday.
No Kings will continue across the country through the end of the year. They hope the movement sparks lasting conversations about democracy.
Not only are frustrated voices mobilizing in the streets, their voices are being heard at the ballot box. In several elections this November, just 1 year ahead of the midterms, in Virginia, Democrat Abigail Spanberger is the first woman to win the governor's seat. And New York's Zohran Mamdani rode the wave of youthful energy and pocketbook issues all the way to Gracie Mansion. The 34-year-old Democratic Socialist is the first Muslim, person of South Asian descent, and the youngest in over a century to be elected as mayor. Mamdani met with President Trump in the Oval Office, the two discussing shared goals for the Big Apple.
We spoke about the different ways.
With the midterm elections just 1 year away, there's been more conversations about ranked choice voting.
That's right, Jada. And of course, ranked choice voting is where candidates are ranked in order of preferences, like first, second, and third. This was the focus of a panel at this year's Congressional Black Caucus's annual legislative conference. Ranked choice voting can benefit candidates of color. That's important due to recent efforts at gerrymandering.
Not only are districts being gerrymandered to dilute, black vote, black voices, we also looking at candidates who are not seen as viable because they're not being selected by the political parties, the two political party system that we have. So I feel like doing something that reforms our voting system, that elevates our voices, are really important at this juncture.
14 cities and counties across the country use ranked choice voting in elections this year.
And right here in Greenbelt, Maryland, voters approved using RCV. Other Maryland city councils in Rockville and the state capital of Annapolis are also discussing whether they should adopt the reform. Meantime, across the country, immigrant families are fearful as they face new federal crackdowns by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. In Charlotte, North Carolina, hundreds of people were arrested in a recent crackdown known as Charlotte's Web. Businesses closed early and community groups rushed to set up legal aid hotlines, while thousands took to the streets in protest. Now, attention is shifting to Louisiana, where about 250 agents are preparing an operation called Swamp Sweep.
With these operations expanding, federal agencies say they need more officers in the field. That push has led to new recruitment tactics, including ICE running ads on popular platforms like Spotify. As of October 6th, the total ad spending has exceeded $6.5 million. The ads encourage people to join ICE and help catch the worst of the worst. Howard students have mixed reactions to the tactics.
I feel like you should keep politics out of companies as much as possible, so I feel like I really would support anything that kind of portrays ICE and all that stuff.
Honestly, I don't care for it, but it's like why does it keep popping? It's getting kind of repetitive now.
I feel like it's incredibly disheartening. I feel like a lot of the things going on in our world are from misrepresentation, so I feel like it's not that great.
Across social media, users are urging people to boycott platforms that show these ads, including Spotify.
While federal agencies look to grow their ranks, students here in D.C. are pushing back in their own way. Several campuses staged walkouts, calling for their universities to take a stand. On September 9th, Howard, Georgetown, American, and George Washington universities demanded their campus administrations to not comply with the Trump administration. Here at Howard, the Sunrise Movement offered flyers about people's rights. Students and staff shared poetry and speeches to uplift and energize the crowd.
After the break, find out about the local Washington D.C. groups that are fighting to end gun violence in the city, and the community organization looking to be a safe space for young kids.
From Capitol Hill,
We're going to remember that they
to the hilltop.
Politics out of
We cover what matters to you.
Your neighborhood, your nation,
Your news.
HU NewsVision.
This year, Howard University celebrated its 101st homecoming.
Hello, we sure did. It brought tens of thousands of visitors, alumni, and students to the Mecca, but unfortunately, it also brought violence to the area. On Friday, October 24th, 5 people were shot stemming from a dispute on Georgia Avenue while Yard Fest celebrations were underway.
According to Howard University, neither the shooter nor any of the victims were students. The D.C. Police Department confirmed they arrested the 17-year-old suspect and that none of the victims sustained major injuries.
While that incident shook the community, it wasn't the only change students felt around campus this fall. Our Starbucks, one of the busiest spots on Georgia Avenue, shut its doors. And it's a place many students and local residents rely on to energize their mornings. The store gave the Shaw Howard community a one-day notice of its closure. One local resident has been visiting the store for decades. She was even holding on to a gift card to use there at a later date, until we told her she had no idea that it was the store's last day.
Now you can't get your macchiato tomorrow. How does that make you feel?
A little disappointed.
Oh, I know you hear that sweet voice there. It belongs to Miss Joan Davis. She's been familiar with that Starbucks since she first moved to the area back in the 1980s. But that isn't the only location shutting down. There are at least 15 more in the D.C. metropolitan area that had to shut its doors. And unfortunately, these sudden changes are not new to the Howard community.
That's right. Many living in the Chocolate City might describe it now as more mocha or vanilla due to gentrification. Shaw Howard has seen some of the highest displacement in D.C. Property values have soared, causing the black population of what was once D.C.'s most vibrant black neighborhoods to drop. More than 40% of households in the area are rent burdened. Residents worry about keeping affordable housing in a rapidly changing community.
And for every family fighting to stay rooted in their homes, others are fighting to stay safe behind closed doors. Domestic violence affects all communities. However, these rates are significantly increased for black women. Fortunately, some D.C. organizations are trying to find a solution. NewsVision reporter Monet Heath has the story.
In the Anacostia area, a teen dating violence awareness event during Domestic Violence Awareness Month is being held. You could find people like Queen Afi, founder and executive director of Domestic Violence Wears Many Tags, talking and providing information to attendees.
I wanted to educate people on the many tags of domestic violence: verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, and physical abuse.
Black women under the age of 30 are 3 times more likely to experience domestic violence than other races.
I was the victim and the abuser when it comes to domestic violence. So, seeing both sides of it, I wanted to find out, why was I cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? What was going on with me, and why was I trending from victim turn the abuser behavior?
Black women who live in impoverished areas are also 3 times more likely to experience domestic violence. Organizations like the Safe Sister Circle support these areas in D.C.
We really wanted to, when we were creating the organization and being founded, be rooted in the community that needs the support the most, and that is the Works Out in Aid community.
Events, education, and resources will continue to help the D.C. community combat high domestic violence rates against Black women. In Washington, D.C., with HU NewsVision, I'm Monet Heath.
Thank you, Monet. Solutions are necessary to avoid these high domestic violence rates in D.C.'s Ward 7 and 8. Those numbers show how much work is left, but some groups in the Southeast are already filling in the gap. Well, speaking of solutions, Noah, we know that oftentimes the crimes involving Black youth here in the nation's capital are often in the headlines, but the solutions are not.
That's true, Jada, but places like Mama's Safe Haven, a nonprofit, is helping to find those solutions. NewsVision reporter Reinah McNeil has more on the woman behind the mission and the challenges to keep it moving forward.
Faced with uncertainty, Mama's Safe Haven is giving DC youth the tools to adjust. Founded by Beverly Smith in 2014, Mama Safe Haven assists over 5,000 families across all 8 wards with programs like enrichment activities, a film school, career counseling, support groups, barbering, and an after-school program. 11-year-old Amira Campbell can attest to the comfort the organization provides.
Makes us feel like we're safe, make us feel like we can do something instead of sitting in the house and doing nothing.
The presence of the National Guard has left many members of the community unsettled. Mama Safe Haven has organized conversations with adults and kids to keep them informed.
Educating them on their their rights, right? Just knowing what your rights are and also how to stay safe, how to communicate with the officers.
Back in January, the nonprofit lost its federal grant and now relies on donations. Smith says this has put a major strain on its outreach.
So we went from serving 60 people a day to only 10 to 15 youth a day.
For now, she continues to be a safe space for the people of her community. Reporting from Washington, D.C., I'm Reinah McNeil for HU NewsVision.
Mama Safe Haven recently began an end-of-the-year fundraising campaign to continue programming for next year. You can learn how to support by finding their website at mamasafehaven.com.
From feeling safe in the community to excelling in the classroom, the latest DC assessment test shows students are making huge post-pandemic gains in school. However, despite these improvements, many Black students are still lagging behind their counterparts. This fall, I had the chance to visit a local junior high school that isn't letting the statistics influence its mission.
For me, I was one of these kids.
Black kids are doing more for behavioral issues at Jefferson Middle School Academy. The dean of students says their white counterparts misbehave in the same ways.
That's the expectation for our kids and not the white kids, so it kind of goes overlooked, I think, in a lot of situations.
As a child, the dean says she also experienced bias.
Instead of people trying to get to know my circumstances and what it was that I was enduring and where I came from, it's kind of wrote me off.
But a few adults cared, two of her teachers and her basketball coach.
Saw something in me, helped me, help push me through it. I interact with children, I don't care where they're from, what's going on, what has happened, what you're doing, what you look like. We're going to try to work through this.
Barriers facing Black students have been ongoing for generations. But here at Jefferson Junior High, the administration works hard to combat these issues.
A lot of my students have lost relatives, family members suddenly due to violence.
Lakeisha Hartribute is a school-based clinical social worker. She balances work life with being a mom to her young son.
I tell him that, you have brown skin. There's certain expectations, of you that, that may be different from other people.
But not all parents can be so hands-on.
A lot of these parents are caught up in the survival, more so than, staying on about their homework and stuff like that.
While they acknowledge they can't get through to every student, members of Jefferson's faculty certainly try. I love hearing Dean Clemens' story. It's always so inspiring to see how somebody has passion for the kids. Well, that's the case for also the remainder of the faculty at Jefferson, who make it clear that change starts in the classroom. It's the joint efforts of teachers and administrators that give every single student a chance to succeed. Up next on NewsVision, our sports reporters bring us the latest action in local and campus sports, including exciting news for the Lady Bison, a former NBA player who's taking on coaching at Georgetown Day School, and outlining the newest on name, image, and likeness deals and how they affect HBCU athletes chasing the bag.
Killing me, right? It's so much going on, but look.
When you work with HU NewsVision, we know that the news can come at you fast.
Wait a minute, hold on, girl. Am I getting what I think I'm getting?
But no matter where you are, HU NewsVision will find a journalist to tell you the stories that you need to hear.
Yo, news visionaries! JT posted extra credit! Woo!
Wait, for real?
At HU NewsVision, we know how to get ready on the fly. We know how to always make sure we have the right stuff. And we know how to make sure you get all your news straight to you. Because this isn't just a class, this is the future of journalism in America.
Welcome to HU NewsVision.
NewsVision, your source for local news, world news, and breaking news, all in one place.
Welcome back. This year has been huge for sports on campus and around the district.
It sure has, Noah. The Supreme 7 has a special sports recap on the biggest stories of the semester. In studio, we have NewsVision reporter Miss Harmony Bailey here to talk sports. Welcome, Harmony.
Thank you very much. I am so excited to be here and talk about sports here at the Mecca. Name, image, and likeness have been a huge topic in sports that has changed the way many college athletes make crucial decisions. I had the opportunity to showcase how Howard athletes are navigating NIL while attending an HBCU. For student athletes at historically Black colleges and universities, the opportunities surrounding name, image, and likeness are growing, but some say there's still work to be done when it comes to visibility and access.
I feel like HBCUs, they just need to force their name to be in those spaces a little bit more. Don't just let the name sit there and hopefully people will come to you or things will come to you. Like, we've got to put ourselves into those spaces to bring connections with our kids and athletes.
While NIL deals have opened new doors for college athletes, experts say it's also creating new challenges, from managing money to planning for life beyond the game.
On one hand, it can cripple athletes. On the other hand, it can prepare them for life afterwards. So I think it's very important to understand like the timeline of playing careers.
Name, image, and likeness has completely changed the landscape of college sports. Some of the nation's top league-bound athletes make more by staying in college longer than they would at the professional level.
It is changing the pipeline tremendously. Like you said, I'm a former athlete. We didn't have it when we were in college. So for me, when I was a college student, I never thought to play pro. Like that was not my aspiration because I knew that going to the W, I wouldn't make any money doing it. Even when I was in school, I wasn't making money either. So ultimately for me, it was like after school, I need to find a job and figure out how I'm going to make money.
As NIL continues to grow, student athletes at HBCUs hope greater exposure and access will help level the playing field both on and off the court.
With the approval of NIL deals in 2021, college athletes are still working to navigate the space because it is relatively new and has a huge impact on the sports industry. At Howard, athletes hope to find ways to capitalize off name, image, and likeness and build big opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, Howard University athletics have made huge accomplishments. Throughout this fall semester, many of our teams have made it to their respective championship games and brought home the win. NewsVision reporter Kyle Alexander joins us with the latest from where much of our Bison action takes place, Green Stadium. Hey, Kyle.
Thank you, Harmony. The Bison football team started the fall season off strong with a 34-7 victory over the Hampton Pirates, earning their first win in the HU battle since 2014. Next, as we kick things over to soccer, the women's soccer team made it all the way to the NEC tournament where they fell short in the semifinals to the eventual champion Wagner College. A group of women that did bring home some hardware was the cross-country team as they won the MEAC title this year with 5 Bison placing in the top 15. Another group that's still celebrating is the men's and women's swim and dive team as they went on to combine for 8 first-place finishes in the UMBC tri-meet. The women's volleyball team went on to the MEAC tournament and made it all the way to the championship but fell just short to Coppin State. As the winter season is approaching, the women's basketball team is off to a blazing hot 6-1 start with a key win over Providence in which they only had a 22% chance to win. As we switch over to the NFL, the Washington Commanders currently sit at a 3-8 record and are in 3rd place in the NFC East. The most significant part of their season was when franchise quarterback Jaden Daniels suffered a dislocated elbow against the Seattle Seahawks and missed the next couple weeks. After being reevaluated during the team's bye week, the Commanders report that Daniels is a long shot to play in Week 13 against the Denver Broncos. And as they prepare for that game with or without Daniels, they are also preparing for the winter season as they are set to host the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Day. And speaking of preparing for the winter season, I had a chance to talk to Georgetown Days' new head coach, Alpha Bangura, and discuss how he's preparing for the season and preparing for the new challenge of being a first-time head coach. At Georgetown Day School in D.C., first-time head coach Alpha Bangura is setting the tone.
Just togetherness, being a team, persevering through challenges and things of that nature. And so, those are the attitudes that we brought here.
Coach Bangura is a former professional basketball player who's played in the NBA and overseas in 30 countries, who is now coaching to help high schoolers prepare on and off the court at the next level.
I'll be more valuable helping kids than being on the sideline. And so, I ultimately decided I was going to get into coaching.
As Coach Bangura enters his first season with Georgetown Day, he looks to bring over his pro basketball expertise to help establish a new culture of confidence and buying in to help the school get back to winning ways.
As a former professional basketball player, your experience follows you. You know what it's like to be one of those kids.
He's kind of instilled this confidence that though we are shorthanded compared to other teams that don't recruit, we still can be very competitive, we can win.
While looking for on-court success, Coach Bangura is also looking to grow these relationships off the court.
They just need to know that we have great leadership and our end goal is a championship.
You want to show people that you care. And I think as coaches, if you don't genuinely care about, your players, you shouldn't be a coach.
As a first-year head coach in the DMV, Coach Alpha Bangura is not letting the pressure get to him, much like a free throw. With HU NewsVision, I'm Kyle Alexander.
Thank you, Kyle. And here's a fun fact. Bangura is from right here in the DMV. Jada, Noah, back to you.
Thank you so much, Harmony. First of all, though, we cannot bypass Kyle's shot. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Right off the wrist. Right off the wrist.
Easy money.
No, I already know. I gotta hype up my fellow brother, okay? That's all. That's all.
And that's right. Each one, teach one. Mentorship is incredibly important. Great coverage again. Thanks to you and to Kyle for making that free throw.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Up next, Howard journalism students get hands-on experience at CNN studios in Atlanta. And we get into the holiday spirit, Bison style. Don't go away. More of NewsVision after the break.
Many young and aspiring journalists dream of making it big in the media industry. Well, this fall, my dreams became reality when I trained at CNN headquarters with the Howard University Association of Black Journalists. Our group of 4 attended the academy in Atlanta, Georgia. We were amongst students from schools all across the country.
All races, colors, creeds, sexes here together, united with the same mission, and that's to become the best that they can be in this industry, and Lord knows we need it.
The purpose of the week's experience is to empower and upskill the next generation of storytellers. Students met with reporters, producers, and editors. We even received daily training from an award-winning journalist. By the week's end, attendees were putting together work of their own and officially graduating from the program. Well, back here in the nation's capital, D.C. has some of the highest food costs in the country, and many neighborhoods still lack easy access to fresh produce. One community garden is working to close that gap. Access to healthy food depends on where you live, and many D.C. neighborhoods still face food deserts and rising grocery costs. Common Good City Farm sits in the middle of the city. The garden grows fresh produce and teaches families how to use it at home.
Closes that gap by providing access to fresh food, and fresh food is imperative. Like, only a certain demographic of people can have access to healthy.
There are an estimated 27 community gardens in the nation's capital.
Common Good City Farm isn't the only spot serving up something good in the district. Union Market in Northeast DC is filled with migrant-owned businesses where you can buy goods and groceries that you might not find anywhere else in the city. I went to Union Market and spoke with local business owners about how they came to the area. Union Market is the intersection of most international communities here in DC. Most of these businesses are owned by immigrants who all have their own unique perspective on what it means to start a business here in America. What drags many visitors out to Union Markets are the opportunity to buy wholesale goods, luxury goods, for cheap prices. What drives businesses out to this area is the opportunity to open your own wholesale store that can reflect directly to your community. Another example of this is Mexican Fruits, a wholesale grocery store which carries on Marta Balbuena's family legacy from Mexico to DC.
So we sell since we were little, since I remember that we sell it. And my father is the one that started, selling or find this market actually, because it was like a wholesale market. This area, it was all wholesale market. And so he find this place and we start doing what we do since we were in Mexico.
And Marta's story isn't unique, because right down the street, Tees Shaikh from Pakistan has the same story.
2007, we were looking for the wholesale business. So we found a location here and we started.
Shaikh owns A1 Wholesale, a mostly perfume and luggage store. Both Marta and Tees offer insights into the thriving immigrant community that's right here at Union Market. Sorry, I couldn't pick up anything for you, Jada.
Noah, you just better be glad that Thanksgiving is this week. Well, Howard marked the start of the season with a moment to give students a break from finals and bring in the holidays early. Howard University opened the holiday season with its annual Christmas tree lighting. Student organizations hung their ornaments on the tree, and campus leaders gathered on the yard as the crowd waited for the moment the lights would come on. There we go. The tree stood tall in the center of the yard, lighting the campus from the valley all the way to the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. And once the lights were up, the community choir kicked off the night with their rendition of Emmanuel.
To keep that Christmas spirit going, we asked the Howard University Sigma Alpha Iota Music Fraternity to send us off into the holiday season with something special.
That's right, something special. As you prepare to listen to the sweetest sounds and soulful harmonies, go ahead and allow your mind to drift to the most wonderful time of the year.
Thank you, Jada, and hi everyone. My name is Carrie B. Ward. I am a senior music business major, jazz vocal minor from Cleveland, Ohio.
And I am Naomi Rogers, a senior jazz studies major with a concentration in voice from Dallas, Texas.
And we are members of
Sigma
Alpha Iota
International Music Fraternity,
Delta Nu Chapter, First Black Chapter, Howard University, Washington, D.C., 20059.
And we would like to extend well wishes and happy holidays.
Hang on the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better. This Christmas.
And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas,
the fireside is blazing bright.
And we're caroling through the night.
And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Da 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 da. Shake a hand now. Da 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 da. Happy holidays!
That song always gets me in the holiday spirit. What a beautiful song.
Oh, gorgeous rendition. You heard that? Dun, 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 dun. Look, I'm ready for it. I can do it too. I should be out there with them, Noah. Well, we thank you all for tuning in to our final newscast. Our class, known as the Supreme Seven, did a superior job making it to the finish line. But we did it with the help of some very special people.
We want to thank our professor, Jennifer Thomas, for pushing and propelling us in the spirit of excellence without excuse.
Or we can never forget this one, be blessed, not stressed, which we will all apply to our careers and our lives. We also must thank all of our professors in the Department of Media Journalism and Film and the Kathy Hughes School of Communication.
And a very special shout out to Clifton C.J. Jones in the Tech Center and Lou Crozier and everyone here at our own PBS station, WHUT.
And of course, this special production was made possible because of our Supreme Seven cohort who served in all positions in front of and behind the camera. We did it, you guys. Woo!
I'm Noah Jackson.
And I'm Jada White.
And from all of us here at NewsVision,
thank you for tuning in, and a very blessed holiday season to you and yours. Woo!
We did it! This Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Da 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 da. Shake a hand now. Da 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 da. Happy holidays!